my beautiful friends. I hope you all are doing well. I've been playing Burnout Paradise for a little bit, but I just wanted to come on here and chat with you guys a little bit, just kind of talk about things a little and everything, because I feel like it would be fun to talk some and just let you guys know what's been going on. I have some of my blankets, my like muslin blankets, baby blankets that I love to carry around. But I wanted to share with you guys a couple of my things that I think are really cute, like stuff like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So you guys know that, I don't know if you guys know this, because I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but I have certain games that I like to play. Burnout Paradise is one of them, but the other one that I like is Minecraft. I'm not very good at Minecraft, but I still like it, and I like watching videos on Minecraft. When I was at Five Below, I ended up getting these two, and I also found this guy. I don't know, this one's not from Five Below, but I got this guy as well. So I have 3 Minecraft plushies, smaller plushies, and I love them so much. And then the other plushies that I wanted to share was, first off, we've got this moose, and I love him. He is adorable, and he's very huggable and big, and he has a girlfriend, and this is his girlfriend. I love her dress. I love just the style. Again, very huggable. She's kind of been going everywhere with me today, and stuff. So I absolutely love her so much. So she's been my go-to, one of my go-tos. And then, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but the Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy, and stuff. And I ended up finding both of these, both Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy, at the thrift store. I saw Raggedy Ann first, and then I looked a little further down and I saw Raggedy Andy. I couldn't believe it when I saw them, because I've been looking for Raggedy Andy for so long, and I have a small version of Raggedy Ann that my husband got me about a year ago or so, like a mini version. But it's just, to be able to find them in like literally cuddle size is amazing, and I've been sleeping with them at night. So, and then another one that I've been really enjoying is my sock monkey. So I've got my sock monkey as well that I've been loving, and everything. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the tags on things, not all of them come off. I still take off like the paper tags and stuff, but then there are tags like this that are like made of some other materials that's not paper. And it's also on this one and stuff. And I haven't been taking those off because they don't bother me, and I actually like the corner textures, like the textures of them on the side. But yeah, I've been keeping tags on some of the things. So that's what we've been doing. But I wanted to just come on here a little bit and just chat a little bit about just how things are going, and something that I don't think I've ever really talked about on this channel very much. You guys see on here that I am a very verbal, right? You see that I can communicate, right? I can verbalize my needs, and what I want to try to say, and I'm pretty good at my words, especially on here, but that has not necessarily, it's not always the case. When I was in school, I don't necessarily remember so much elementary school as much, but definitely like middle school, high school especially. I remember I have always, like, I struggled in classroom settings because of sensory things, but not only that, but then I had a very hard time kind of like talking in classes, um, and like actually saying the things that I wanted to say. I found that I just couldn't. It's not that I didn't want to, it's that I physically couldn't. Um, I couldn't physically get myself to talk. Um, it was a struggle, and it's like the thought of having to like talk out loud and having to like say anything was overwhelming for me, and I never really liked it per se. But I recently learned that I think there is a term for that sort of thing, which is called selective mutism or situational mutism, I think, which is something that I never really knew. Like, let me just be clear that I wasn't diagnosed autistic until I was an adult. So growing up as a kid, I didn't know that I was autistic. I didn't know that I had anything of that sort. Like, I knew that I was different. I could kind of tell that I was different because I was oftentimes very much picked on. Obviously, you guys can tell that I'm definitely different in a sense. I've come to accept who I am now, and I've come to know that there's nothing wrong with that. But in school, I very much struggled because I didn't think that there was something. I didn't necessarily understand why there was something different about me. I didn't understand why I couldn't do the things that other people could do. I didn't understand why, even though I knew the answers to certain things, why I couldn't talk, why I couldn't verbalize the things that I wanted to say. I struggled. It's like I had, like, when we would have questions, when a question would, like, be asked, I had a very hard time, like, expressing myself. And I still feel like to this day, there's a lot of situations in which I very much go through kind of the same feelings. Like, for example, a good example of that is when we went to our friend's house, I found it hard to talk. I kind of would just sit on my own, and I would watch videos or I'd do things like that. Like, I didn't really participate in the groups because I find it very overwhelming when I'm with a lot of people. Like, you guys may know this, we do D&D every other week, and we host the D&D sessions at our house. And even though these people know who I am and they know me fairly well by now, I still find it hard to talk around them necessarily. I feel like everybody else is so easy to talk and easy to, like, just engage, and I feel like I struggle. It's not that I don't like the group. It's not that the group makes me uncomfortable. It's just I find it hard to interact in those situations for some reason. But yet, when I'm one-on-one with somebody, and with specific people, like the people that I feel safe with, I can be very, very talkative, very chatty, very much talking to people, and even, like, people that I'm not necessarily more familiar with, but like for example, we met up with a friend of my husband's, somebody I didn't know, but them and I clicked very, very quickly. Probably because they were also neurodivergent. But we clicked. I was able to just talk, to kind of just talk. But then there are times where I find it hard to even say much of anything. even around my husband, there are times where I want to talk and I find it hard to. Um, and it oftentimes gets mistaken for me shutting down or me kind of avoiding talking or avoiding saying what's going on or whatever. And that's not always the case. It oftentimes more often than not, it's not that I don't want to talk. It's that I physically find it hard to. And I don't know. I know that there's older people out there who have experienced this, but it's like it feels in a way that the people who know me best find it kind of hard to believe when I say that there are other situations in which I physically can't talk even if I wanted to, which is why I have my iPad and I have an AAC app on here. I have Proloquo to go on here. It's for that reason, because I find it so difficult to interact in situations like that. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe, let me know down in the comments if you have had that issue where it's like with certain people you can be very, very, very talkative, and in other situations it's like you lose the ability to be able to verbalize or find your words. Like if I'm really upset, I find it much harder to talk. I find it much harder to verbalize things. When I'm in crowds with a lot of people, I find it very difficult. Like going to stores, going out. You guys know that I go out every day. I go to different places, and one of the reasons that's possible is because I have my headphones. And I have my whatever. And I use those all the time. They're my go-tos. I listen to things on my phone or on my iPad, videos or music, or that's really the only reason I'm able to be out, is because I put on things that I can focus on. Or I'm out with my husband, in which case he kind of keeps me grounded and keeps me in the moment. And I obviously bring my comfort items with me, regardless of what that is. And that's really part of how I'm able to cope with going out of the house. Because to be honest, like, going out can be scary, but at the same time, it's also good for me. You know, it's important for me to get out. I think for my own mental health, my own well-being, for everything. I find that I need to be able to go out, but that doesn't necessarily mean that going out doesn't require for me to have certain things. I do require my comfort items. I do require a certain amount of support. I do require, and support, not necessarily support from other people per se, but support with things like my stuffed animals, with my fidgets, with my comfort blankets. Little things like that are things that I absolutely must have with me in order to be able to function properly. Without them, I kind of feel very lost. I kind of feel like I can't function. So, anyway, I kind of just wanted to talk about that. I hope that you guys are doing well. Again, share in the comments down below if you guys struggle with any of this, or are there any things that you or your kids or people around, like if you know anybody who, when you go out of the house, is there anything that you must have with you in order to feel safe or comfortable, or just to feel like you're okay? Anyway, I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Remember, as always, if you're going through it, you'll get through it, and remember who you are. Bye, guys.